Classification of plant diseases on the basis of pathogen or causal agent, and on the basis of causal agent, the diseases can be classified into infectious and non-infectious diseases, and these diseases they can be classified on the basis of the causal organism. If the causal organism it is a non-living one, the diseases are non-infectious, and the pathogen or causal agent it is a living one. These diseases they are the infectious diseases, and these infectious diseases they are caused by living organisms or the biotic organisms, and the here causal agent it is a living one. Then these diseases they can be transferred from the diseased plant to the healthy plant, or from the diseased area to the healthy area. Such type of diseases they are known as the infectious diseases, and these infectious diseases they can be caused by the different organisms, and the infectious diseases they can be caused by the plant pathogens. They may be animal pathogens. Diseases caused by animal, and diseases can caused by the viruses and the mycoplasma. The diseases caused by the plant. There are different types of the plant pathogens. That is bacteria, fungi, algae, and angiosperms. The bacteria. There are so many bacteria. More than 200 species of the bacteria they can produce diseases to the plants. And the most prominent genera of these bacteria, mostly that is Xanthomonas and Pseudomonas, are the prominent genera. They can produce several diseases to the plants also. And an example of these bacterial diseases, it is the angular leaf spot of the cotton. Then you know the citrus canker. Citrus लिंबू तुम्हाला माहित असेल, लिंबूवरती जे लिंबूच्या फ्रूट वरती जे ब्राउन कलरचे जे स्पॉट असतात ते स्पॉट म्हणजे सिट्रस कॅन्कर. दिस सिट्रस कॅन्कर it can be formed by the bacterium, and name of that bacterium is Xanthomonas citri. And this Xanthomonas citri it can causes the bacterial disease, that is citrus canker. As well as in other plants the bacteria they can produce diseases. The bacteria they are the disease producing bacteria they can produce several diseases. The citrus canker, angular leaf spot of cotton, Bangadi disease of potato, these diseases they can be caused by bacterium. And the bacteria they are the microscopic, they are bacillus bacteria, they are rod shaped, and they can produce the diseases to the plants also. An example of the bacterial disease is the citrus canker, angular leaf spot of cotton, Bangadi disease of potato. These are the examples of the bacterial diseases. Then fungal pathogens or the causal agent it is a fungi. There are so many fungi, they can produce several diseases. The thousands of species of the fungi they can produce many diseases to the plants. And the example of the fungal diseases, downy mildew of the bajra, grain smut of the jawar, then powdery mildew of the grapes, powdery mildew of the teak, then white rust of crucifers. These are the so many diseases they can be produced by the fungal pathogens, or here the causal organism it is a fungi also. Then algae. Algae it is generally autotrophic in mode of nutrition, but there are so many algae they can produce diseases, or they can cause the disease. The disease like that is the rust of coffee, or sometimes the leaf spots which can form on the coffee plant, as well as the on the mangoes. They can be produced by the algal pathogens, and these algal pathogens they can reproduce, they can enter into the host body, and they can produce zoospores. These zoospores they can enter into the host body, they can reproduce, and they can form the filaments, and these filaments grows and it forms the spot on the surface of the leaf also. Then some angiosperm parasites. The angiosperm parasites, they can grows on the host and they can produce harmful effects. The parasites means these are angiosperm parasites. They can grows on the other plants and they can absorb food material, and then they can produce the Hastoria. Hastoria, it is a penetrating or absorbing organ of the parasites, and these Hastoria, they can penetrate deeply into the host body and they can absorb food material. At that time they can secrete some enzymes along with some toxins can be produced, and these toxins, they are harmful to the host also. Then there are mainly two types of the parasites. One is the total parasite and another is the partial parasite. Total parasite, here these parasites, they can be totally depends on the host, therefore they are called as total parasite. And partial parasite means the parasites, they are partially depends on the host for its nutrition. For such parasite, they are called as partial parasite. The total parasite, they are the stem parasite and root parasite. The total stem parasite and total root parasite. And example of the stem parasite, it is the Cuscuta reflex on Duranta. Cuscuta म्हणजे व्हायरस सारखं जे स्टेम पसरलेले असतात प्लांट्स असे, तर ते Cuscuta जे आहे त्या Cuscutaला रूट्स वगैरे काही नाही, ते काय करतं प्लांट्स वरती वाढत असतं आणि दुसऱ्या होस्ट प्लांट वरती ते हस्टोरिया प्रोड्यूस करतं आणि त्याच्या स्टेमनं त्या प्लांटनं जे फूड मटेरियल तयार केलेलं आहे ते कंप्लीट फूड मटेरियल जे आहे हे Cuscuta ऍब्सॉर्ब करत असतं आणि त्याच्यामध्ये क्लोरोफिल वगैरे काही नाही Cuscutaमध्ये. अगदी पिवळ्या वायरी जशा पसरलेल्या असतात तसं जाळी पूर्ण त्या प्लांटवरती पसरलेली असते त्या Cuscutaची, आणि त्या होस्ट प्लांट मध्ये वरती ते असं गुंडाळल्यासारखं वाटतं आणि त्याच्या स्टेमनं जे फूड मटेरियल प्लांटनं जे ऍब्सॉर्ब केलेलं आहे त्याच्यामध्ये हे हस्टोरिया प्रोड्यूस करतं आणि हस्टोरिया प्रोड्यूस करून त्यानं त्या प्लांटनं होस्ट प्लांटनं जे फूड मटेरियल ऍब्सॉर्ब केलेलं आहे तेच हे प्लांट फूड मटेरियल ऍब्सॉर्ब करत असतं. ह्याच्यामध्ये क्लोरोफिल वगैरे काही नाही आहे, म्हणून हे टोटल पॅरासाइट आहे. दुसरा टोटल पॅरासाइट आहे रूट पॅरासाइट. तर त्याचं एक्झाम्पल आहे ओरोबँकियॉन टोबॅको. टोबॅको प्लांट वरती तुम्ही नेट वरती ओरोबँकियॉन टोबॅको असं टाकल्यानंतर तुम्हाला ते ओरोबँकीचं तुम्हाला एक्झाम्पल बघायला मिळेल, त्याचं पिक्चर सुद्धा बघायला मिळेल. तर ते टोटल पॅरासाइट आहे. ते रूट झोन एरियामध्ये टोबॅको म्हणजे तंबाखूच्या रूट झोन एरियामध्ये हे ओरोबँकी नावाचा हा पॅरासाइट आहे तो वाढत असतो. त्याच्यामध्ये पिंक कलर, साधारणतः पर्पल आणि पिंक कलरचं फ्लावरिंग त्याला आलेलं असते. तर हा असा पॅरासाइट त्याच्यामध्ये टोटली हा त्याच्या रूट वरती डिपेंड असतो, म्हणून त्याला रूट पॅरासाइट असं म्हटलेलं आहे. सो दीज आर द टोटल एक्झाम्पल ऑफ रूट पॅरासाइट, टोटल पॅरासाइट्स, दॅट इज Cuscuta reflex on Duranta, आणि रूट parasite, that is Orobanchion tobacco. Then partial parasite, it can grow on the angiospermic plants, and the partial parasite, they are partly depends on the angiosperm plants, that is partial stem parasite and partial root parasite. And example of the partial stem parasite, that is Loranthus on mango. आंब्याच्या झाडावरती आपण बघतो फॉरेस्ट एरियामध्ये किंवा आपण जंगलामध्ये वगैरे गेल्यानंतर किंवा आपल्याकडे सुद्धा काही प्लांट्स वरती आंब्याच्या फांदीवरती दुसरं प्लांट वाढलेलं दिसतं अगदी टिपला, तर ते म्हणजे लोरॅन्थस असतं. इट इज अँजिओस्पर्म, अँड धिस प्लांट लोरॅन्थस, it can prepare the function of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis can be also takes place in these plants. It is a green colored plant and it can only depends for the food material or for the nutrition, and the photosynthesis can be occurs in these plants also. Then the रूट पॅरासाइट, दॅट इज ट्रायगास. ट्रायगा म्हणजे टार्पोला. टार्पोला हा जवार प्लांटच्या जवळ वाढत असतो रूट झोन एरियामध्ये, अँड द फूड मटेरियल विच कॅन बी prepared or absorbed by the roots of jawar can be absorbed by striga, and it can functions as its own, that is it contains the chlorophyll, and therefore it is a partial parasite. The striga and loranthus, they are the partial parasite, they are partly depends on these plants, that is on the jawar as well as on the mango. Then another infectious diseases, these diseases they can be caused by the animal parasites, and there are so many animal parasites, that is protozoans, insects, roundworms, rodents, birds. Protozoans, these protozoans are the unicellular organisms. The typical protozoans are present in the latex producing plants, and the information of diseases produced by the protozoans is not in detail, but they are the phloem necrosis is the best example of the protozoans also. Then insects, there are so many insects, they can also responsible for producing diseases. The insects like the leafhopper, grasshopper, beetles, aphids, they can be responsible for producing several diseases. Then another animal parasite, or it is called as the roundworm or nematode. These roundworm as well as the nematodes, they are present in the soil and water. They are obligate parasites. Their sucking organs are called as stylet, and during feeding on the plant they can secrete enzymes as well as toxins, which can react with the host metabolism and produces abnormalities. Abnormalities can be produced to the plant, such as the stunting of the growth, then chlorosis. Chlorosis means destruction of the chlorophyll. Stunting of the growth means reducing the growth. Then hypertrophy as well as hypertrophia can be also occurs, and some root knots, मुळावरती काही प्लांटच्या गाठी वगैरे निर्माण होतात. This is also the example of this nematodes infection, that is root knot which is developed on the vegetable also. Then there are some rodents. Rodents means kurtadnare. The rodents, they can tear out the root system as well as stem, and sometimes total plant body they can be tear, or the plant parts they can be disturbed by these rodents also. And example of the rodents is the rat. Rat, it can reduces the economic value of several crops also. Then birds, there are so many birds, they are responsible for forming wounds in the trunk of large tree. The birds are also responsible for destruction of phloem, as well as they can also responsible for the destruction of the blossom of the plants, and their fruits are not formed by the disturbing the blossom. The flowering, in the flowering condition, the blossoms can be disturbed by the several birds also. Then diseases, infectious diseases, they can be caused by some viruses and mycoplasma. The viruses, they are the very small microorganisms. They are ultra microscopic. The viruses are host and tissue specific pathogens. They can be brought into crystal form. These are protein in which nucleic acid is present. They can be transmitted by insect, seed propagule, cutting as well as grafting. And example of this, that is yellow vein mosaic of bhendi, and the TMV, that is tobacco mosaic virus. This is the example of the viral diseases. Then mycoplasma. Mycoplasma, they are the very small spherical ring-like or filamentous in shape. They are non-motile and facultative parasite. They lack chlorophyll, cell wall, but having triple membrane. And the mycoplasmal, the example of this mycoplasmal diseases, GSD, that is grassy shoot disease of sugarcane, then little leaf of brinjal, phylloid of sesamum, then little leaf of the brinjal, then little leaf of parthenium. These are the several examples of the mycoplasma.